wabarakatuh. My name is Nada Nasuha binti Kasnun. So today I will talk about introduction of PPSMI. What is PPSMI? PPSMI is abbreviation for Pengajaran dan Pembelajaran Sains dan Matematik dalam Bahasa Inggeris, or in English is Teaching and Learning Science and Mathematics in English. PPSMI is a government policy aimed at improving the command of the English language among pupils at primary and secondary school. PPSMI was introduced by Mahathir Mohamad as the Prime Minister of Malaysia in 2003 based on a decision made in a special meeting of Cabinet on 19 July 2002. The implementation of this policy began with Year 1 primary school, Form 1 secondary school, and Form 6 student of first year pre-university. Malaysia took a bold step in readopting the English language as a medium of instruction for science and mathematics. Then the policy of PPSMI, in line with current development and hope, will help to strengthen the student proficiency in English. So I will start my first point of benefits PPSMI, which is provide the future generation with world-class education. First, students who are learn science and mathematics in English enable to access new development in science and technology to challenge of globalization. It can produce knowledgeable students with creative and critical thinking that they can compete at international level. But some people was argue that Malaysian students display poor effort of English language, especially rural students, because they does not have strong implementation towards English language that they use in school. So how they can compete at international level? So here, teacher need to play their role with provide some question like hot question, because high order thinking skills able student to apply, analyze, evaluate and think creatively to solve problem. Okay, next. Able students who wish to further their study abroad or vice versa. This is because English language act as a medium of interaction between people who utilize two distinctive language. For example, Chinese and Indian, they need to speak two language, which is first is their mother tongue and second Malay language. So some people also argue that students who speak English as their second or third language will give a big challenge for them, which is they will feel like too many language that they need to learn. Okay, so by view positively, PPSMI involve students from primary and secondary school. So we know that young generation are a fast learner, so they are easy to accept new knowledge, and that is not an obstacle for them to learn English. Okay, and the last one is help students to survive onerous challenge in epoch of technology. We all know that the English language has become important of requirement for job seeker to get a better job. So people also say that students who are not good in English can get a job too. Nowadays, mostly people who get a better job have a good English skill, so they can easy to communicate with other people, especially when cooperate with foreign employee.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Hanisa binti Herman. So today I'm going to talk about PPSMI should be implemented in school because it will help to empower the student command in English language. It will help to improve student communication in English. As the teacher teach math and science in English, they will have 2 or 3 ways of communication. So this communication between student and teacher will help the student to be familiar with their terms or knowledge that are delivered in English. So the argument is, if they want the student to improve their communication in English, they just ask the student to speak English in their daily life. But if we want them to speak English in their daily life, they will not be familiar with their significance term or significance knowledge about science and math that are provided in English. For example, when we talk about our cells in our heart, the cells are normally direct translate from English to Malay to make them understand about the cells in our heart. But if they learn science about our heart and English about our cells, they will be provided with a lot of reference, so they will be more knowledgeable about our science. So that is why we need to teach science and math in English, so they will be more familiar with the significant terms or significant knowledge about science and math. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nadira Binti Samidi. Today I would like to present a topic about why teaching and learning mathematics and science are relevant and can be reintroduced. So let me tell my part, which is in a reference perspective. Okay, first of all, we know that PPSMI can help students to keep pace with the latest scientific and technological knowledge. This is because a massive corpus of knowledge in reference books and recent discovery are often reported 80% in English. So, the argument is, how about the student in rural areas? We know even many reference books in English, but they do not refer that because they cannot understand English in a very well. But due the new era of digitalization, we know that all many things we can search in our fingertips. So this can help the student to translate all the reference books using a technology nowadays. At the same time, we know that PPSMI also can bring advantage for the student in a rural area, like encouraging them to strive hard, for example by referring dictionary to search that terms that are not understand, making familiar with words and the sentence, which are very important when they are in universities. So the second point is, uh, PPSMI also can help teacher to facilitate understanding and avoid the misunderstanding among the students, because we know that most of the scientific terms are written in English language. We know that language is a powerful instrument in formation of concepts and the transfer or communication such of a concepts. And when we use English language, it express very well in many things, then it make things very clear with the less word. But the argument is, according to Pandian 2004, they conclude that mostly the science and mathematics teachers often to use Malay language when they face with difficulty in explaining the terms with their students. But we know that when the teachers are translating the scientific terms from English to Malay, it will give it will exchange different meaning for the terms and for the concepts. For the example, in additional mathematics subject, such as the terms of differentiation and integration, we know when we translate the meaning of differentiation, it's same, which is we call it as a pembezaan. But when we translate the terms of integration, the meaning not called as a integrasi, but it called a pengamiran. So when this we can see from this, teachers are unable to transfer. We can see the teacher unable to transfer the correct concept effectively, so it can make the misunderstanding among the students.
Hi everyone, so today I would like to continue our presentation about PPSMI, and I would like to elaborate about my point, which is to prepare future generations survive through the more challenging world. So I would like to say this because when PPSMI is applied at school, they can make a student or a person that have graduated easily get a job. Why I'm saying this? Because most of the company require English to ensure that the employee that they hire can easily speak and communicate well. So, but some might say that we do not need a good communication skill, but we have to know our own skill or mastery skill to ensure that we can easily get job. Yes, I'm gonna deny this, but for example, you said when you have a good skill in welding, you do not have to communicate with people. You just can communicate with tool. You just use tool and do not communicate with people. Yes, it is true, but you have to know that in this world there is a lot of opportunity that we can get. If you have a good communication skill in English, then you can apply a job to to others company, to a bigger company, and get a higher salary. So if PPSMI are applied at school, then you can easily choose whatever company you want to, and you can apply that. Because with no communication skill, it is hard for you to have a better position in your life. So that's all for my. I'd like to conclude our presentation for today. So there are so many reasons that we agree that PPSMI have to be taught in school. So first, it is empowering students to command the English language. Second is providing the future generation with world-class education. And third is prepare future generation to the more challenging world. And fourth is to ensure the development of science and mathematics knowledge among educated people. So as we can see, there is a lot of benefit when PPSMI has been taught in school. So me and my group mate are strongly agree that PPSMI should be taught in school since primary school, secondary and primary school, so that people will be more ready to face the next stage of their life. That's all from us. Thank you.